Aluminium and steel is around 12 million people directly, and this is going to increase over time, possibly by around 20%, and it is very relevant for generating employment and associated linkages also. Now, the logistics in metals and mining, why it is important is that starting from exploration and mining to processing and refining, to manufacturing and production, to storage and warehousing, to transportation, to your distribution at the door of the consumer, to retail and end users, even to recycling and waste management, which my former speaker has touched upon, to regulatory compliance, to technology innovation. Everywhere logistics is the thread which holds all links together. So I will not elaborate much on this because of paucity of time. Now, but one thing of great relevance in the current context is that the cost of logistics in India, it has been estimated to be around 14%, some say it is around 16%. But anyhow, this is the comparative, the between countries. India is at around say 14%, China is at 10%, US and EU are around 8%. And in India, if you look at the multimodal spread between the various modes of transport, you will see that road occupies almost 70%, and rail is just 18%, water ways is yet to make any dent, and pipelines is just coming in, slurry pipelines. And how much of it impacts the environment also is evident from the spread amongst the various modes of transport. Now, the challenges of logistics in India, I have tried to put in the various points for you to read, but I'll just summarize and say, the high average need freight distance, average daily distances by trucks, for example, is 250, 400 kilometers compared to 700 to 800 in developed countries. The high empty truck, like we talk about ballast in ships, the empty trucks returning, the high cost of freight because you are not totally loaded, and the high share of road transport in metals and mining industry due to poor first mile connectivity and rail linkages missing, and then of course the containerization of the Indian transport system is yet to take off in a big way, and ecosystem is yet to develop. And we have got various other things which concerns environment, labor unrest, and of course the lack of attractiveness of the sector has failed to, attract the skilled labor personnel. It is something which is missing and is of concern. Now, what does the national logistic policy say? To develop a technologically enabled, integrated, cost-effective, to develop a technologically enabled, integrated, cost-effective, resilient, sustainable, and trusted logistics ecosystem in the country for accelerated inclusive growth. This was the policy which was launched in, I think, September or October 22. And if you look at the keywords, integration, modernization, optimization, formalization, standardization, democratization, all these are very, very important for making our endeavor to reduce our logistics costs, which is very high currently, again to repeat, at 14 to 16%, and globally in developed countries only around 8%. So you can imagine the amount of cost that builds into the system, as also because of the multimodal spread skewed unfavorably for India, we have got environment concerns as well. Now, these are the technological trends which my former speakers have also touched upon. But the global trends in technologies, when the buzzwords are net zero, tax transparency, embracing IoT, artificial intelligence, big data, then the fleet management system, which is of great importance in optimizing your time and the carriage. The blockchain technology, of course, the GPS system, and the big data analytics and other things are also there. Now, I've tried to put in a matrix of how the key technologies which can be used in logistics between the various modes and the various technologies. You can just have a glance at it, the focus areas and shipping, road, rail and air, and the technologies, primarily the main technologies like blockchain, cloud, big data, autonomous drones and digital twins. So as we say, these are the trends that we are heading for, and we have to imbibe it in our system. And this is where succeed, then we will have an edge over India progressing ahead. And if we are doing well despite COVID circumstances, and also we are insulated in the current recession across the world also, possibly we are getting into the system slowly but steadily. Now, one of my former speakers was talking about financing and uh, other optimizing operations in supply chain financing. Kindly have a look at it. What we are talking about. We're talking about receivables, inventory financing, dynamic discounting, technology integration, risk management, and assessment and mitigation. All that. This I'm just trying to skip it because of the paucity of time. Now coming to the skills required, and more so I will dwell on it because I am associated with institute, BJ Patnaik National Institute of skill development. We are doing skill development, being a primary focus. So this is of interest to us. And as a former speaker said, skilling is one of the primary, gaps which one has to fulfill over time, and that is where we will go ahead. And as the Honorable Prime Minister has also been laying stress on, making India a skill hub. So, talent crisis based on a survey done by KPMG last year, it was one of the top 10 issues. And technical skills are required to manage the climate change, and we're talking about CBAM, carbon markets, and all that. So we need expertise for that, and sustainable resource management, circular economy principles. These are all buzzwords which people are using, but I don't know how many people are really acquainted with what exactly they are. So our education and training programs have to be accelerated, and so that we can manage the shift to a much greener economy. And since I'm talking about metals, yes, the metals industry. Thank you. And just to show you the KPMG survey of last year, you can see the talent crisis was the top 10 at number 9. It had not featured for many years, not in 21, but it has even surfaced in 22. So this is the narrative, and basically I would say I've summed up what my former speakers have dwelled on. Thank you so much.